Hi guys, it's Amy and you found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on any of my videos. I am so excited to have you here today. This is my 300th video. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I've reached 4,600 subscribers today, and I am just over the moon. Thank you guys so much for your support. I am so pleased to share my crochet journey with you, and you're making it better and better and better every day. So I cannot control my excitement in trying to put this video together for you this morning. So thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. I appreciate your support over these last 4 years, and I couldn't be doing this without you. So thank you so much. Welcome to my 300th video. Woo! Alrighty guys, last time you saw me, I had worked on this little horse for my granddaughter. She graduated from pre-K this last week or so, and so I made this little gift for her. If you haven't seen that video, please do go check that one out. If you also saw that video, you will also know that I wanted to make a horse for my neighbors who have a horse. So one of the things that I needed to do was sneak a picture of the horse because I wanted her feet in the photos. And here she was. We were going out to dinner the other night and she was standing right by the fence. So I was able to get some great pictures of her. So this is what I am trying to recreate in a stuffed animal form for my neighbors. And if you saw that video, you saw that I was really struggling with trying to find the right yarn that I wanted to use. This is a really great, Just Yarn by Premier. It's a chenille yarn. I got it at the $1.25 tree, and I really wanted to make one in the colors of the horse for the neighbors. So this is what yarn I ended up picking up. This is Loops and Threads, and it's called Petite Pearl. It's a polyester yarn. It is a size 4 though, so that was going to be a little bit different for me. And they suggest a 4.5mm hook, which is what I used for that. I think I might go down to a 4mm hook for this because it's really, I think that would be better for this stuffy so that you don't have all those little gaps showing. And then, so this colorway is called Cappuccino, and then this one is called Winter White. They had one that was like a lot creamier than this, but they didn't have anything that was whiter. So I did choose these two to be the horse color. Now her hair, I was really kind of struggling with the color combinations that I wanted to put together for the purple one. Because I did want to incorporate some other colors, make it super, super colorful, but I like the way that one turned out. And so I was trying to decide whether or not I was going to use this same yarn, or if I was going to use a different yarn to maybe make the mane stand out a little bit. This option to make the curly cues, you just do a chain and then you put multiple single crochets into those chains to make the strand curl. But I saw another technique where you just pull the yarn long, like a long loop when you're crocheting, and then you twist it up, kind of like when we twist up a hank of yarn. So I'm going to try that and see if it comes out a little bit better. It won't be braided. It won't be curly cues like that, but it won't just be single strands of yarn either. I was trying to figure out something to do kind of to bridge that gap because the horse has just got some straight hair, not the curlies. So how could I best represent that? So on to the excitement, the main excitement that I have to share with you. This project I have been working on for a few weeks, and I've told you guys about it in the amount of stress that it has caused me. Only because, when a crochet pattern is a little bit of a challenge, you've got to focus on it, and focus isn't something that I always want to do. I'm kind of scatterbrained, flitterbrained a little bit sometimes. So I shared some of my trials and tribulations with this pattern, but here I'm going to go ahead and I don't know what to share first. Okay, so the name of the pattern is called Birds of Paradise Shawl, and it's by Suiv's Crochet. It is an intermediate pattern, and the stitches aren't difficult. You know, sometimes when you have to learn a new crochet stitch, it just racks your brain. How am I doing this? How am I, you know, you really want to see a tutorial on how that stitch is done. This one did not come with a tutorial. It came with a written pattern. It was a free pattern. In addition to the written pattern, there is a chart, which was fantastic. So through the entire process, through working through this entire shawl, I had snipped, cut and pasted a little snippet of the diagram right next to the words. And then I would have to break down what all the words mean and what that looks like in the stitches. And so I made it through, and I truly believe that you can too if you've got patience, if you've got a little bit of an intermediate skill in you, whether it's already strong or whether you're working towards that intermediate skill. This was a great project to work on, to sort of be a challenge to me. You know, sometimes I do stuff that's just too easy because I want my brain blank while I'm watching TV and just crocheting, you know, mindlessly or whatever. But this one I really wanted to challenge myself. And let me tell you, it did challenge. So some of the stitches you'd be familiar with and some you may not. So we all know a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet, right? Well, some of us know a triple crochet, or a treble crochet as it's called. So in this pattern, you're doing half treble crochets, treble crochets. You're doing double treble crochets, half double treble crochets, and triple treble crochets. I'm not done yet. There is even a septuple treble crochet. I don't know how to say that full word, but you yarn over 6 times. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So after you get through all those range of stitches, you'll also be working on picots, and you'll be working with a 3 treble crochet bobble stitch. And then you're doing standing bobbles as well as one of the special stitches that is explained to you. So it wasn't difficult. It just took focus. That's all. Just take some focus. And then I risked it for the biscuit to pick up my yarn because I wanted to come up and share with you. I am not done yet. So here is a picture of the last 2 rows. I just have the row of double crochets and then this standing bobble stitch to do. But otherwise, I am complete with this shawl. Is this not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? So when I saw it, I saw this photo and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do that. I have got to do that. It's a free pattern. So thank you, Suiv, very, very much for providing so much work to us so that we can, or so much work so that we can take advantage of this free pattern. So thank you, thank you. So my risk it for the biscuit was that I picked up my yarn from where I was sitting and dropped it while I was walking up the stairs. So I sincerely hope that this isn't going to bite me in the behind, but so the yarn that I was using, I told you a little bit about this yarn before. It is called the Floral Soft Cake, and it is made with 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. It is 250 grams or 1,093 yards. So it suggests a 3mm hook to use for it, which I did. I'll show you guys my 3mm hook here. Which was also part of my, I'm not going to say struggle, I'm going to say challenge. It was a challenge to use this hook, this small of a hook. And I've told you how challenging the yarn was, in that we've got 4 tiny little strands of yarn. There's 4 strands there to make a fingering weight. This was a fingering weight yarn that is broken down into 4 teeny tiny little hair looking threads. So I've told you in my struggles in how easy it is to drop one of the threads. And you know, going through this, there were 41 rows total. And so there's quite a few opportunities for you to drop one of those threads. I thought I'd maybe kind of go back and try to hook them back into it, because when I would find a thread that I dropped, it was like 2 or 3 rows before. It wasn't like any kind of frogging I was going to do to go back to it and pick it up. Or even sometimes when you're just in the next row, you can grab it and put it as part of the stitch for the next row up. But I wasn't able to do that as well, or either on this one, because when I did notice them, it was too far down. So again, great yarn for this, for the touch and for the look, but it was very difficult for me to work with. So the other colors that I have are a purple one and a blue one. And then can you see this color here? These, whoops, not this one. This one and this one are both of the same yarn thinness, multiple strandness. So I don't know how to pick this up and show it to you in this most beautiful way. So you guys, I've been working on this for so long. Here we go. So I certainly wish that I had more color changing in this cream to the yellow. Like I got through it, I'm like, is there going to be any color changing in this color changing yarn? So I do love how the colorway kind of plays out. I mean, I don't know, guys, when you're so excited that you can't think of words, that's kind of where I am with this, because I really wanted to challenge myself and I did it. I did it. But man, I'm not done yet. I still have those 2 rows to do. And okay, so let me see if I can bring it to you and share some of these crazy stitches. So you can see in this center section that it didn't feel too out of the norm. That part looked kind of normal. But then every row you do is a different stitch, and in most cases there's 2 shells that you are doing something different for. So you can see here, I don't know, it's so hard to show you like this. So this is definitely one of those patterns where I needed to use 1,000 stitch markers, especially when I was telling you some of these shells had like 24 stitches in them, and you were supposed to go like to the second treble crochet. So I had to count up how many stitches that was going to be and then mark it. I did that a lot throughout this pattern so that I knew when I started working, you don't want to work on all of this and then realize that you're off a few stitches here or there and then have to frog a row. It would be ridiculous, number 1, for this pattern. Number 2, for this yarn. I told you what a bird's nest nightmare I had with a little bit of a knot that I ignored until it was too late. So I'm going to try to hold it up against my cardboard here. I want to be able to show you all of its beauty and not just be awkward with my positioning of things. Okay, so let's take that. I clearly haven't blocked it yet because I still have 2 rows to finish. But just so that you can see, like, it's such a beautiful, you've got fans and you've got, you know, chain 1, skip 1s, and you've got count over spaces. And so you really, really need to be specific with to know where your stitches are supposed to go. And that's why I just had to use so many stitch markers. And I color code my stitch markers. Like I know in my brain when I'm going to use a red, that means stop. If I'm going to use a green, it means keep going or increase on that side. You know, sometimes when I'm going to do something like this, I mark all of my, where do I go next with blue, so that I know I just can start, you know, if I've gone through and marked all my stitches on a difficult one, like some of these that have 24 stitches in them, I'm supposed to go to like the 3rd treble crochet for my next stitch on the next row, you know? And so it just made it easier for me to go through and mark all those with stitch markers so that when I do start to crochet, I can just go and I don't have to stop and count every single time. That seems to help me quite a bit. But yeah, I don't even know what to say as far as like the blocking. I'm not even done yet. I'm still going to have a row of double crochets, and then the standing bobble is the last row, kind of to make, they're like giant picots, if you will. Yeah, because if you know me, you know I don't love a picot. And one of these rows had like every 3rd stitch was a picot, and then you go chain 2s and then picots. So there are a couple of these that have 5 picots, and some of them have 2 picots, a chain 2 and 2 picots like they're supposed to. So one of the other parts that I had the most difficulty with, let me see if I can get it in here. You had to go, you can see it right here a little bit. As you're crocheting along, let me see if I can flip it around for you. You're supposed to go back. It's kind of like connecting shells. So let me see if I can go right here. Like you're crocheting along, and then you got to come back and grab either a stitch or a chain grouping that was on the previous one. It doesn't look really good. And so if you've ever had to do a crisscross stitch where you skip one and you go into the next stitch and then you have to come back and go into the one you skipped, it was kind of like that. It was really fiddly, really awkward for me. I just had to figure those parts out. And if it's wrong, it's wrong, but at least it's consistent through the entire thing. So let me get rid of this cardboard guy here. I'm trying not to make knots of the rest of the yarn that I've got, the rest of my loose yarn. So it's good size. Oh, it's so pretty, the color. Woo. This was, did I say the colorway already? What was the colorway on this? I don't know if they give you a colorway 9003. If you see it, good for you. I don't see it. So here's where it says that. Made in Turkey. Am I just missing it? I know I did on the other yarn cakes. Flora cake here. And Flora cake here. Information. Alrighty, so I'll back you up and get a full view of this. So it is a bit more of a circle. So it's not going to be as long. You certainly could do one of these. It looks like a giant bib, doesn't it? I don't know if this would be my most favorite for wearing this. This is definitely, whoops, I'm choking myself here. Definitely meant for the back and not a front-sided shawl at all. But yeah, I mean, so many of the shawls that I work on are like the triangle or an asymmetrical shape. So this one that was kind of like almost a full circle was kind of a fun, different pattern for me to work on. Alrighty, so the rest of the colorway just goes darker rust, as you see here at the very end. So of those 4 teeny tiny little strands, like along the way, one of them will change. So, you know, like we got 4 creams, and then they would take out 1 cream and add 1 yellow, and then take out 1 more cream and add another yellow. And so as you went down, you started to trade out 1 color of strand until you were all 4 of the same colorway. So that's what I'll end up with at the end, is just a solid rust color, if you will, to be that end. So, and then I'll still need to block it out. So we'll see. I'll show you again after I'm done with my last 2 rows if my yarn finishes. Like, I thought that this pattern was a little bit was supposed to take less yarn. I thought I was going to have a bunch of yarn left over, and now I wonder if I'm even going to be able to finish the pattern with the yarn that I've got. So that's what I have been working on very fastidiously. Like, this has been my focus, so that I wanted to get this finished for you guys. I wanted to get a really exciting 300th video made. I didn't want it just to be a meh project. So the last 2 rows that I have still to finish, I don't think it's going to make a big difference in the way that it looks to show you guys. So I went ahead to show you today. Yay! And then if that's not enough, when I'm done here recording, I'm going to edit and hurry up and upload it, because this afternoon or this evening, I'm going to a Phil Wickham concert. So this has been in the plans for quite some time. I'm very, very excited. I've seen him in concert once before. He is amazing. Did you guys ever talk about when we were kids, or, you know, anywhere all through life? I'm crooked. Anywhere all through life, we've talked about, if I was stuck on a desert island, what? A deserted island, not a desert island. A deserted island. What's my one food that I would eat for the rest of my life on that deserted island? Well, we've done the same about like a musician or, you know, a hobby or whatever. We all know what a hobby Amy would take. But Phil Wickham is one of those that if I only had one person to listen to for the rest of my life, it could be Phil Wickham. Matt Maher is my other one, as far as my faith-based music goes. So I'm really, really excited to see Phil Wickham in concert again. Torrin Wells will be with him, and Jamie McDonald, is that her name? Left It in the River. Love that song. Love her energy. This is really, really going to be a fun night. So I got a lot to do today. I got to hurry up and get it finished so that I can edit and upload so that you guys can see my video. Yay. All right, guys. Thank you again so much for your support, your love over the last 4 years. I can't believe 4,600 subscribers already, and my 300th video. Yay. Here is for many more to come, right? Here's cheers. I got a drink. Cheers for many more to come. I'm so excited to be doing this still. It still brings me so much joy. And I love that you guys are coming along for the ride. So thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate you. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.